Good morning. Let there be peace in my mind. Let there be peace in the earth. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. 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 Peace inside of my mind, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside of my mind, God and only God I live to see. Peace inside my mind, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside my mind, God and only God I live to see. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. 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 Peace inside of my heart, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside my heart, God and only God I live to see. Peace inside of my heart, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside my heart, God and only God I live to see. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. 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 and only God is moving me. Peace inside of the earth, God and only God I live to see. Peace inside the earth, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside of the earth, God and only God I live to see. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. 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 Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om.
Good morning, OCSL. Happy Sunday. I'm your host, Maureen French, and I'd like to thank our wonderful musicians, Omega Ray and Kev Choice. And let's give some love to our awesome sound engineer, Jimmy Thyself. We respectfully acknowledge that here in the Bay Area, we gather on the traditional land of the indigenous Ohlone people. We honor with gratitude the land itself and the people who have stewarded these lands of countless generations. Welcome to the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living, where we teach spiritual principles and practices that nourish us, uplift us, and celebrate our oneness with all of life. A special welcome to those of you who are joining us for the very first time. We're so glad you're here in the sanctuary with us. Please raise your hand, and one of our ushers will come and provide you with a welcome packet. Is anybody here for the first time? Go ahead and raise your hand. Hi. Also, a big welcome to those of you who are joining us on YouTube Live and Facebook Live. Make sure you sign up for our weekly news so you can learn about all the fun things we have to offer here at the center. As a reminder, if you are experiencing any cold, flu, or COVID symptoms, please tune in on the YouTube Live or Facebook Live instead of coming to service in person. Thanks for signing in as you come into the sanctuary and wearing your masks covering your nose and mouth. We appreciate every effort to keep us all safe and healthy. Let us take a moment now to bless our children wherever they are. Get the warm juices flowing. We bless all our children in our community and the world. We love you. We see you. We know the truth of who you are. You are a unique expression of God, and we are grateful to have you in our lives. And so it is. We have two events happening today. The CALM, the Compassionate Attention to Loss Ministry Support Group, meeting on Zoom at 1 p.m. Information in the Zoom link is on the CALM page under Groups on the website, or check the Village News. The second gathering of the Women's Spiritual Empowerment Group is at 12:30 today in the sanctuary. This is the last time you can join this series of the Women's Spiritual Empowerment Group. Please sign up on the events page. Next Wednesday, March 8th, International Women's Day, practitioner Constance Chapman will present Everyone Else is Already Taken, with an ancient twist. If you know Constance, she definitely always brings an ancient twist. Meditation is at 6:30 p.m. and service is at 7 p.m. by Zoom. Reverend Sunshine's class, The Art of Active Listening, begins Thursday, March 9th at 6:30 p.m. In order to prepare the materials for this class, registration closes today, so be sure to go and register for that class. Thursday, March 10th, is the annual meeting for Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. Friday. March 10th, is the annual meeting. And it meets at 6 p.m. on Zoom, and the link is on the events page. On Sunday, March 12th, Reverend Sunshine Michelle leads us to co-create our first community listening circle from 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Either bring your own lunch or purchase a light lunch in the social hall for $10. This will be a hybrid event. You must pre-register on the events page, where you will also find the Zoom link. In-person participation will be in the social hall. The installation and celebration of our new minister, Reverend Sunshine Michelle, is Saturday, March 25th at 1 p.m. Pre-registration is necessary. The link and registration is on the events page. So if we could all stand if you're able, and let's go ahead and read our vision and mission statement. The vision of the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living is to joyfully reveal the love and oneness of God. We are a welcoming and inclusive spiritual community dedicated to individual transformation and collective growth. Our purpose is to love, inspire, and serve our community and the world through education, music, prayer, and play. And so it is. Now I will pass this over to Eliza, practitioner Eliza.
Good morning. My name is Eliza Young, and I'm a practitioner here. So everyone else is already taken. That's our theme for today. And we have two readings. The first is by Emma Curtis Hopkins. If God is your world, what have you to fear? And the next reading is from Ruth Bader Ginsburg. As women achieve power, the barriers will fall. As society sees what women can do, as women see what women can do, there will be more women out there doing things, and we'll all be better off for it. So, I know there is just one power here. That one power is God. That one power is beauty. It is wisdom. It is elegance and excellence. It is love and delight. Wonder and wonderful. Gracious and graceful. It is this and so many things. And I know that this one power is my life. That my life is a divine expression of the one. And that everyone else is taken. So I am this perfect, unique expression right here, right now, expressing to you and all of those participating in the service, our speaker, Reverend Geri, our host, Reverend Sunshine, the musicians, the tech team, the ushers, all the people that have showed up here, that are watching online or will watch it at another time. And God, I know there is no time. But this morning, I know that this service is blessed. I know that each person here hears what they need to hear. Reverend Geri is speaking the word to us, giving what we need, because all our needs are met all the time. And God is present here in this service and always. And so I'm grateful to release it to the lawn, knowing the service is done in the mind of God. It's complete. And join me in saying, and so it is. Amen.
move in your seat if you're feeling it. Move your shoulders. Inside my head there lives a dream that I wanna see in the sun. Behind my eyes there lives a me that I've been hiding for much too long. 'Cause I've been too afraid to let it show. 'Cause I'm afraid of the judgment that may follow. Always putting off the living for tomorrow. It's time to step out on faith. I've gotta show my face. Been elusive for so long, but freedom is mine today. I've gotta step out on faith. It's time to show my face. Procrastination had me down, but look what I have found. I found strength, courage, and wisdom. It's been inside of me all along. I found strength, courage, and wisdom inside of me. Yeah. Behind my pride there lives a me that knows humility. Inside my voice there is a soul. In my soul there is a voice. I've been too afraid to make a choice, 'cause I'm scared of the things that I might be missing. Running too fast to stop and listen. It's time to step out on faith. I've gotta show my face. It's been elusive for so long, but freedom is mine today. I've gotta step on faith. I've gotta show my face. Procrastination had me down, but look what I have found. I found strength, courage, and wisdom. It's been inside of me all along. Yeah, strength, courage, and wisdom inside of me. Yeah, yeah, da, da, ba, da, do, do. Yeah, yeah. I close my eyes and I think of all the things that I want to see. 'Cause I know now that I've opened up my heart, I know that anything I want can be. So let it be, so let it be, let it be, so let it be, let it be, let it be, so let it be, so let it be. 'Cause I found strength, courage, and wisdom. It's been inside of me all along. Yeah, I found strength, courage, and wisdom inside of me all along. Don't you know I've got strength, courage, and wisdom? It's been inside of me all along. Yeah, strength, courage, and wisdom inside of me. Yeah, da, 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 da. Strength, courage, and wisdom. I know it, I found it, I found it in me. Ooh, yeah. Ah, da, da, ba, ba, da, 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 yeah. Da, yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Omega Ray and Kev Choice, our own. Good morning, everyone. I am here to introduce someone who needs no introduction to this community and I'm me, so I get to do this my way, and I know it's the right way. So I am going to introduce our beautiful, beloved Reverend Geri Carter, who is our speaker this morning. Reverend Geri has been with this community for almost 24 years. She has been in high service in so many roles and leadership. She has the most compassionate and loving heart of anybody I know. She takes such good care of you. And speaking of that, I have been spoiled rotten since I've been here by Reverend Geri. Really, she dotes all over me and just makes sure I'm taken care of, and I have felt so welcomed by you, Reverend Geri. Thank you so much. Y'all are in for a treat this month with Women's Month because we have bookends. I intentionally, Spirit, I can't take credit, saw Reverend Geri kicking off Women's Month, and we're concluding Women's Month with Reverend Catherine Sachs, both of whom are co-facilitating our women's spiritual empowerment group. And yes, I'm sprinkled in there somewhere too. So we have an action-packed march for you. I have a prop. Hold on a second. Last week was Reverend Geri's birthday, last Sunday, and I found out too late to do anything about it. But it's never too late in God. I can do what I want to do anytime I want to do it, right? So I am here to also wish Reverend Geri a happy belated birthday and a big, big thank you. You are just so adored in this community. Let's give a warm welcome to Reverend Geri Carter.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh my gosh. It's an ongoing celebration. As we say, 365 for Black History Month, and now we're in Women's History Month, 365. I say lifelong. It's a lifelong journey, yes? Thank you all so much. And that music, come on, it's always so perfect for the talk, isn't it? I was trying to, faith, courage, and wisdom, what was it? Strength, courage, and wisdom. It's so perfect for today because we are celebrating this National Women's History Month, and this month was designated as National Women's History Month in 1987 by Congress, so that's very special. It is in recognition of all the amazing accomplishments of women in our world, so it's a very special month, and I'm really pleased to be launching it, starting it this month. And thank you, Reverend Sunshine, for your kind words. The orchids are my favorite. I have a home that loves orchids. They just do so well there. That was very precious, thank you. I was trying to keep it a low-key birthday. You know, it seems like every 5 years or so I do that for some reason, and it was perfect, and this is beautiful, thank you. Oh, I am so happy to be here. I haven't been up here for a while. It looks wonderful seeing all your beautiful faces. Kev and Omega and everyone, all my friends. There's Camilla there. Hey, nice to see you. So, about this topic, I've changed it a little. I'm saying be yourself because everyone else is already taken. And I know there's a book, Mike Robbins, and there's other material about that. In fact, Susan Brecker said to me, didn't you do a talk on that once before? And she reminded me that yes, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. So that's what we're up to today and this month because of authenticity, because we're cultivating authenticity all month long. And you know, we're living out loud. I think we've done a wonderful job this year already living out loud. So by the end of the year, if you don't think you're living out loud yet, wait until the end of the year and see where you're at. Surely something will shift. You know, so be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. That can kind of be scary sometimes. The risk in being authentic. It can be scary for some of us, and some of us just naturally live out loud. I'd like to think I do both. You know, sometimes there's that, well, I'll share a little story with you in a minute about that. But what I love is that so often we're trying to fit these square pegs into round holes in our lives, you know, this experience. So first we must know thyself, first and foremost. Can't we just certainly learn to love and accept ourselves just as who we are? Because, you know, if we can learn to accept and love ourselves, can't we accept and love everyone else? I mean, that's what our world needs, accepting and loving everyone else, not being in judgment or opinion, but really stepping in. And you can only do that if you can love yourself first. So that's the charge for this month, I think, as women and men, because men have that divine side, that divine feminine side as well. So for all of us, if we could learn to live more, love more, live our lives more fully in loving kindness, I think it filters out into our world. So I'm hoping you're all in with me on that, to love and accept everyone right where they are. So easy to step into a judgment or opinion, but what about just stepping into love? See what happens next time you're faced with a moment of quirkiness or, you know, something that doesn't make you feel very good. Shower it with love. So to live out loud for us to fully express who we are and who we have come to be. Throughout this month, we will explore the practice of cultivating authenticity, which empowers us to step into all the areas of our life in integrity and be the real authentic self that we were meant to be. So what I want to share with you about authenticity is that I realized something about myself just this last Wednesday Sat song that we had. It was a beautiful service. It was conducted by Reverend Sunshine, and she did an amazing job of leading us through a series of questions that were very deep and profound and gave us an opportunity to really explore our authentic selves. But what came up for me was an interesting conversation just before the service when the early birds gather and we meet and talk. And there was a question, we were talking about animals, pets, mostly cats. And the question came up, who has the most cats? Well, most people have 1 or 2 cats. I cringed because I knew I was going to answer the question because I would always be in integrity and honest. But my authentic self wasn't feeling so authentic in that moment because I didn't want to say, I have 6 cats. Because I knew everybody was going to just say, oh, she's a crazy cat lady, or whatever they say about people with cats. So I had to really look at myself and look at that, you know, that was an opportunity for me to be authentic, but I had to look at what was behind that, what was stirring me and why I wouldn't want to confess that I had 6 cats. But my life and my cat history has always been 1 or 2 cats, and I am an animal lover and I am a people lover. And at my office for the last 20 plus years, we've had feral cats. And of course, me being a cat lover, I make sure that they're spayed or neutered, trapped, spayed, neutered. I have a feral cat vet in Castro Valley who takes care and helps me out financially. It's been a hobby and just a gift to make sure that these critters are taken care of. And of course, there's always food and fresh water. And over the years, the colony has slimmed down to none. The final one passed a couple years ago, Bubba, a big black cat. It was just so sweet for the last 18 or 20 years. And it was sad to see him go, but it was kind of freeing not to have to be obligated to taking care of these guys. But now, a few more straggling in, so of course, I've got water and food out there for them. And I have a colony also that I take care of at one of our properties in Alameda. So I am a cat lover. I guess I'm a crazy cat lady, and I'll just accept that as who I am. And I have that same love for people, you know, I do. I really have a big heart, and I'm a bleeding heart in so many ways, for not just for animals, but for people in the condition of our world right now. So that's just something that I share with you. And how I got those 6 cats is a much longer story, but I will say when a little kitten straggles along and it's got a really bad nose problem and it's real tiny, and I captured it and took it to the vet and said, I'm leaving for Cuba tomorrow, so just I'll have someone from my office pick him up when he's done, you know, give him a shot, cure the infection, fix him, whatever. And then I had to throw a name out there, so I named him Jinx. And I'm on the beach in Cuba, and my phone rings, and I would normally not answer it, but I did. It was the vet, and the vet said, when are you gonna pick up Jinx? And I'm like, oh my God, it's 8 days into this trip. I said, I'll call my office. They were supposed to take care of that. And my nephew works for me, so I call him. I said, Ryan, you better go get Jinx out of there. He's gonna cost me a fortune. You know, go bail him out. And he did, and Jinx ended up being part of my household, along with another little kitten during a really fierce storm that I couldn't see being out in the weather. So that little kitten came home, and I thought for sure Jinx was gonna eat her. She's so tiny. So I put her in a big crate in the guest room with all her amenities. And Jinx would sit there and look in at her. And so finally, a day or so, I unzipped the crate, and she creeped out, and the two of them played and played and played. And they love each other to this day. She follows him. She's like his shadow. So the others were fostered by me. They were adopted out by me to my friend who was in the Coast Guard. She took them to Guam. When she came back after serving her Coast Guard duty, she said, could you foster him until I get back to the States? For a month or so. And I said, sure. Well, she got back to the States, and they ended up staying with me because so that's how I got such a big group. And some are inside and some are outside. I'm meticulous about my home. So if you came there, you probably never even think I had a cat, let alone 6. So they bring me much joy. They keep me very calm. They're just good friends, as those of you who are cat lovers know. So that's my authenticity story, and I'm sticking to it for now. So thank you. So I don't know if you all, I don't know how many of you may have attended this, but a couple years ago, Reverend Savannah Riker conducted a workshop here after one of her talks, and it was The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown was the book that was being used. And Brene's work is great, and this quote I want to share with you. Authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we are. Yeah, good work. She shared how to stand in our power, how to stand in our truth, which was what Omega and Kev's song was all about for me today. It was just so perfect. And so how do we do this, is the question. How do we stand in our power and stand in our truth? Some of us are probably pretty good at it, and others probably maybe not, not into standing in power and truth. But it takes a willingness to do this. It's not just something that is. It takes a willingness to release those old patterns that we've been conditioned with. We have a lot of thoughts and attitudes and actions that really no longer serve us. So it's an opportunity to release those and become empowered to be something greater. So this is what's so exciting about this month. Because we're going to continue to explore the practices that support us in living out loud. I love that. So it's been said, be yourself because everyone else is taken. And while we may nod our heads in agreement, yeah, sure, we find ourselves sacrificing ourselves in order to fit in with others. Ever done that? We want to be accepted, approved of. Starting with our authentic self as an expression of the divine, we will explore the means for us to recover consciousness of our wholeness. So this is our work this month, and I think it's really a powerful month for each of us. So the science of mind point of view on this topic is, in our oneness with the one infinite reality, call it God, Spirit, Source, Fred, Joe, whatever it is you call it, we are spiritual beings first. Spiritual beings first. Spirit made us of itself, and within us is the divine spirit that is our real, authentic self. The self is perfect, whole, and complete. We've heard that in this teaching over and over again. Who we are at our very core is as eternal as God, as indestructible as reality, and as changeless as truth. This was from this thing called you from Ernest Holmes, these words. And it is this divine self that is back of all that we do and all that we believe ourselves to be. So each one of us is a unique expression of the one, absolutely. We are each an authentic, unique expression of the one. How we show up is a collection of our thoughts, patterns of belief, and attitudes, those that we have come to through our own living of this life, and those handed down to us by others, our parents, our teachers, our religion, our media, the world. That's all that conditioning that slips in. And then in our teaching here, we're unraveling that conditioning. We're looking for our higher self, and we're doing the work to do that through exploring our own inner life with compassion, because it takes compassion first, and practicing gratitude and acceptance, which are all spiritual practices that are very important. We are poised to speak our truth and our experience with courage. Back to the song, that courage. We will discover a freedom that comes from releasing the pressures to be who we are not. We're releasing the pressures to become who we are not. If we adopted, it's none of my business what you think of me. If we each adopted that, how free would we be? How free would we be? We wouldn't be carrying the baggage of, oh, I'm not accepted, I'm not loved, I'm not liked, I'm a cat lady, nobody, I smell like a cat, whatever, no. But how do we cultivate this awareness of who we are? This is the biggie. The moment we were born, things dramatically changed. Yes, we were in our mother's womb, we were fed, all of our needs were taken care of. Then we learned quickly that we could get those caring for us to respond to us by crying or fussing or whatever it might be. Then we were told, be like this. Don't do that. Don't be like that. Ever heard those words? So we could meet the expectations of others. Yeah. And even make them feel better about us. Well, is that our work to do, making others feel better about us? If we're not being our authentic self, it just isn't a fit. Don Miguel Ruiz refers to this process as domestication. Okay, so domestication, and our authentic needs and wants became less important than how we need to be so that we could fit in, right, and get by. Through self-inquiry, journaling, therapy, spiritual practice, prayer, and study, we create a space within to awaken from domestication and get to know who we are instead of who we are supposed to be, right? Who we are instead of who we are supposed to be. We discover that our light has been hidden behind erroneous beliefs and identities that have been picked up along our life experience, our life journey, which cause us to shrink back from living out loud. So let's cultivate compassion for self. Are you in? Okay. It doesn't always have to feel safe. It doesn't always feel safe to live authentically. Our thoughts and feelings may be different from those around us. That's okay. We learned there are consequences by not fitting into the group. There are consequences. The instinct to survive and our need to belong is so strong that we would rather hide our authentic self for fear of those consequences. Fear of exile and abandonment. Fear that we are not enough. Anybody had that thought of not enoughness ever? That's one I've worked on most of my life. Or even that we may be unlovable. Ooh. So, this thing called you, Dr. Ernest Holmes, invites us to start from the truth. Your soul belongs to the universe. Your mind is an outlet through which the creative intelligence of the universe seeks fulfillment. Starting with ourself as spiritual beings, having this human experience, or as Reverend Petra shared with us at the Vista Conference, and I like this so much, why not human spirits instead of spiritual beings having a human experience? What about human spirits? That's us. We can start to recognize ourselves as unique beings that are perfect, whole, and complete, just as we are. Just as each snowflake is its own unique expression, or each grain of sand, so are we. Embracing all of ourselves, the parts we like and the parts we may not like so much, opens us to grace and opens us to compassion for ourselves. So life is not asking us to be something other than ourselves. It is this self that belongs to be revealed and seen, the true, authentic self. So I have another little quick story for you. In my bathroom, I have a triple mirror, and I have a crack in one of the mirrors. So every time I'd walk in the bathroom, I'd focus on that crack. It bothered me, crack in the glass. So much that I took the door off, turned it upside down, put it on the other side, kept walking in, and I kept seeing my eye would go to that crack. And I'm like, I'm kind of obsessed with this crack. Everything in my bathroom's perfect, but there's that crack in the mirror. So what did I do about that? I found this awesome sticker that was about the size of the crack. And I put it on there, and that sticker says, "You are beautiful." And every time I look for that crack, I see that sticker. And that's a great reminder for me. So this is a way that, you can focus on something that's negative or doesn't look so good, it bothers you, and you're bothered by it. And that energy of being bothered just infiltrates everything. Or you can flip the switch, as I say, and change it. So that's what I did. So I encourage us all to find ways to do things like that in our life experience when we, have something that just doesn't seem exactly right. So, in flipping that switch, I want to share that we need to stop hiding, and we really need to stand in our power. All of us, those of you on live stream, everyone here in the sanctuary. We need to stop hiding and show up fully as ourselves. Guess what? Some will love us, and some may not. Well, I've as I said, I've adopted the saying, it's none of my business what you think of me. In a most gracious way, of course. So let's be willing to try something new, to take some risks. Trust another with our heart. Open up and tell a story. See what happens. There is a feeling tone of standing in our truth that can only be felt. I can't even put words to it. It can only be felt when we stand in our truth. So feel that feeling. Brene Brown also says, courage is a heart word. The root of the word courage is core. The Latin word for heart, core, the Latin word for heart. In one of its earliest forms, the word courage meant to speak one's mind by telling all one's heart. From the Gifts of Imperfection. So there are days that we will have more courage to be vulnerable than others. Those days it feels like a struggle. Living out loud authentically will bring us to our growing edge for sure. It will bring us to the edge of our comfort zone. That's to be expected. Courage is what keeps us moving through the valley of the shadow of death. So before I close, I just would like to speak a word about the Women's Spiritual Empowerment Group. This group was formed in 2017, and it's been functioning beautifully, except for some COVID time and time when I was contract ministering, and there just wasn't enough time to do everything, obviously. But I'm so excited that we're back. We came back last month, and this is our second of 6 sessions. And the slide said you have to register online, but you really don't. You can just show up. If you are inclined to join us today, I invite you. The Divine Feminine is our topic today at 12:30. And on another note, you know how Reverend Sunshine refers to savory moments? Well, I would like us to create monastic moments here by suggesting we court the divine presence within us and within all things. An enlightening practice to pause a few times a day, or if you awaken in the middle of the night, and silently affirm this: I am one with the one. Share that, say that with me now. I am one with the one. Now I become my true self. Now I become my true self. And so it is. And in concluding, I just have a few suggestions for us. Let us be grateful for our spiritual community here at Oakland Center. Yes? Yeah. Whew. We are surrounded by love and by loving people that we can trust to support us on this journey of cultivating authenticity. There's no question about it. We are truly supported. So be authentic, perhaps by saying, this isn't easy for me, but I'm glad you are here to listen and see the authentic me. This isn't easy for me, but I'm glad you're here to listen and see the authentic me. And remember to love yourself the way you are. We have a song about that. I'm not going to sing it for you. But love yourself the way you are. There is nobody like you. It's pretty incredible. There's nobody like you. How good is that? You are a unique expression of the one mind. It's the best. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Carl Jung said that. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. So I've got a quickie sweet story for you. There once was a little girl who played next to a small chapel. Periodically during the day, the child would stop playing and go into the tiny church and sit quietly. After several minutes, she would leave the sanctuary and come back to her play. Her mother watched her do this a few times and then asked her why she went into the chapel each day. The little girl answered, "Because God might want to say something to me." Aww. Okay. And one funny, when a kid says, "Daddy, I want mommy," That's the kid version of, I'd like to speak to your supervisor. Let us pray on that. Oh, gee, just everyone get comfortable in your seat. I'm inviting the practitioners and ministers to surround our congregation to hold the consciousness for our prayer work. Thank you, and I'm inviting the prayer box up by our meditator. And here comes Doug with the prayer box. Or someone with the prayer box. Thank you. So let us go within. Taking in a deep breath. Breathing in all the grace, the love, the compassion, the ease, the comfort of life. Knowing that there is only one of us here. That there is only one divine power and presence. I call it Mother, Father, God, and how good it is to know that it is all-knowing and all-wise and boundless and infinite and everywhere present, giving of itself. It is powerful, almighty, supreme, and absolute. Whatever we choose to call it, whether it be God or Spirit or Allah or whatever name we give it, how good it is to claim our oneness with such a divine power. There is no separation. There is only the one. And we too are imbued with all those magnificent qualities of the one. And just knowing with a compassionate heart, loving mind, loving soul, that the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living holds in its prayers this day our nonprofit partner, Impact Justice. Impact Justice advances safety, justice, and opportunity through boundary-breaking work that honors and employs people and is changing expectations about what we can accomplish together. We will hear more from Impact Justice later in the service. And for our beloved planet, Mother Earth, oh my gosh, the rain is falling, the flowers are growing, the trees are being fed. Mother Earth is taking care of all of its earthly needs as we follow along with our mindful stewardship of her. And I'm blessing the youth and the youth of the world, knowing that they are guided by the loving mind and heart of this one divine power and presence, knowing they too are one with the magnificence of all of life. And blessing those in service who create a world that works for all. And love, comfort, peace of mind, compassion, wholeness, health, and healing for all those impacted by challenges of whatever form, particularly for those on our Ministry of Prayer list and those in our Ministry of Prayer box, knowing that all these prayers are answered prayers, that God is a God of goodness, of wholeness, of strength, of courage. For Miranda Roberts and family, for Antonia Griffin, for Jay, for Anthony Prado and his family, for Jim Young, for Firefly, Olivia Walter, and Christine Anderson, for Ricky Abisla, and for the family and friends and pets of all those who were caught up in the typhoon a couple of weeks ago in New Zealand. We're holding all in our prayers, knowing that there is that divine essence of the one that is supporting and holding each and every one this day. And we continue to hold our world in prayer, knowing that peace is possible in Ukraine as well as other parts of the world experiencing war. And holding all who have been impacted by violence of any type in our prayers. And blessing those impacted by any natural disasters. And let us pray for continued wholeness and safety from the pandemic and from all and any wintertime viruses. And for a transition, for our beloved Louis Thompson, RSCP, Lewis's memorial service was Friday, and it was so beautiful and so uplifting, and I feel his energy, his spirit here with us now. And longtime member and former Board of Trustee member Bert Morgan, holding Bert in our prayers and his family and loved ones as they continue to release Bert. Bert was 100 years old. He sat in a special place in the sanctuary, and I see him there each time my eyes gaze to that area. And for Craig Ferguson's older sister, Travis Ferguson, who made her transition, we are surrounding Craig and Amy and their entire family in love this day. And so now I invite you to go within your own heart and say the name or names of anyone on your heart in need of a prayer into the sacredness of this sanctuary that is surrounded by these amazing practitioners of truth. Just whisper their names into the sanctuary. George, Geri. And as the names continue to be whispered, let us know that there is a loving God, that God's grace and love is our sufficiency, and that all are being divinely guided, that all are being divinely embraced this day. And I am so grateful for the spoken prayers, the spoken names, the prayers in the prayer box for our spiritual community, the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. How good it is to seal this prayer now, knowing that we are fully supported by a God that knows only good. I just let it be. And please join me in saying, and so it is. Amen. Thank you, Kev. That was beautiful. Thank you. So this is another favorite time of the service. This is our conscious giving time. Yes, woo! Prepare your gift. My gift is prepared automatically in advance, and those cards are in the back of the seat pockets. They are our giving cards for those of you who give by auto giving. And I like to give a little extra, especially when I preach, when I speak, because I know that the graciousness of Spirit is right here, and this is a very special place that requires our gifts to keep it thriving, and it is thriving. So as you place your gift to your heart, please join me in saying our giving affirmation, and then I'm going to tell you about the other ways to give momentarily. Do we have a giving affirmation slide? No? So I left all my props behind, so I do apologize, but the giving affirmation is, thank you, Reverend Sunshine, thank you. I am unlimited in my ability to create abundance in my life. I am unlimited in my ability to create abundance in my life, and so it is. So we have lots of ways to give. We have on our website a giving donation tab that abundance and giving, and there's lots of ways. There's Zelle. There's a donate button on there that makes it easy. You could mail a check to the center if you miss all of that. Text to give. And we have these beautiful baskets up front. So I'm inviting you to come up as Kev shares some of his beautiful music with us and place your gift in the basket. If you don't have your gift today and you want to come up and bless the basket, we invite you to do that as well. If you haven't pledged, there are cards in the back of the seat. This is our Galaxy poster. You'll get a star to put on the poster, and there's a gift below the poster for you. So you can pledge anytime during 2023 if you haven't done so already. Thank you so much for your gifts. And as you continue to deliver them, I want to let you know that there's no large or small in God. So whatever you give from the heart, knowing it not only supports our community at Oakland Center, but it returns to you in a greater, grander, more glorious way. Thank you so much.
There is a power, a presence, one life of all, and no other power can exist outside of the infinite. One love that can only be God's love. Oh yes, I know that I walk. Oh yes, I walk in the love of God. There is a wisdom and a knowing, a loving and a truth. Whatever you need to know will come in God's way for you. Oh, just say until it's yours. I will pray and I won't move on till I know, oh, that I walk in the love of God. For the power and the glory and the love is God, and it's everywhere. I know it, it's everywhere. I feel it everywhere, and I know in my heart, yes, the power and the glory and the love of God is everywhere. I can feel it, it's everywhere. Say it, it's everywhere, and I know in my heart, yes, yes, I walk in the love of God. There is a power and a presence, one life of all, and no other power can exist outside of the infinite. One love that can only be God's love. Oh yes, I know that I walk. Oh yes, I walk in the love of God. I walk in the love of God. Yes, I walk in the love of God. Thank you.
You can never go wrong with Ricky Byers, sung by Omega Ray and played by Kev Choice. We are so blessed in this community to have a program called our nonprofit program where we give monthly. We choose, Beth Van Arkel and her team choose a community agency to give to every month. And since this is March, we have a new nonprofit partner to introduce you to. And I am so honored to welcome to the podium to give you a brief snippet about what Impact Justice is what they're called, what they do in the community. We're going to welcome Teresa M. Giacomin, who is the Senior Program Associate, and Rhonda Franklin as the Housing Coordinator. Please welcome them.
Hello. Thank you, Reverend Sunshine, and thank you all for having us, and especially to Beth Van Arkel for connecting us. We're here to talk about our project, the Homecoming Project. It's a program of impact justice. So we can go to the next slide. We read our statement earlier, but just to recenter us, our work is in the criminal justice, criminal legal system field, and we have many programs. We're a national nonprofit and a research center doing research in that field. But we are talking today specifically about the Homecoming Project, which is the program that Rhonda and I both work with. So we can go to the next slide. And we're going to show this video, if we can play it. It's just a few minutes.
You go in and you're being treated, you know, like you're subhuman. Places like the Homecoming Project make it a lot easier to be accepted more into the community. And people with that mindset and that caring makes a big difference. Well, I'm really enjoying being home. Being formerly incarcerated, that stability has been very instrumental, knowing that you're in a stable, secure place. So when you're out there trying to find a job, when you're trying to establish your credit, and not having to worry about, well, where am I going to be sleeping tonight?
The Bay Area is home for me because of my family. I have a partner, Joe. We've been together for about 12 years. We had our first participant in October 2018. It was a learning experience, I think, for both of us. We were coming from really different backgrounds, but we just had a really natural friendship. I went with Jason to buy his first car with him, did the paperwork together, going to a restaurant, reading a menu. Scott's our fourth participant.
I have 2 grown daughters, 9 grandchildren, love them dearly. Previously, to have any time with them, I was having to drive over 6.5 hours. One of the obstacles that I was coming up against is I would have to transfer my parole. I needed to have a residence. Impact Justice explained to me how the program worked and that they had a couple that we might be compatible. And when all was said and done, I think we were both pretty much in agreement that we wanted to do this. And it's been very positive.
The Homecoming Project is really necessary in the Bay Area just because the housing prices are so high. It's really hard for people who are just starting off fresh to be able to even survive, let alone thrive. Right. For us on the host side, it's really helpful to have, the extra income. I felt the roommates are so well vetted. I felt like it was actually a really safe way to make use of the space that we had.
There are thousands and thousands of people across the country who are being released from prison every year, but we don't invest in them, we don't give them resources, and we don't give them a safe, healthy place to live when they come out. And so the Homecoming Project says there are extra bedrooms in communities that are underserved by the sharing economy. So let's push back against gentrification, pay homeowners to become hosts, to take people who have been in prison, live with them for 6 months. Enterprise and Wells Fargo created the Breakthrough Challenge to invest in innovative housing solutions. So that took us on a journey to explore housing for people leaving prison. We thought we were building a housing project, we built a relationship project. To see people laugh together, eat together, navigate our lives together.
I'm not a housing expert, I'm just a regular person, and we can all do something. It's just part of my responsibility as a community member to make sure that people in our community have a safe place to live.
The goal was to have that stability so I can work on the other pieces of that puzzle. And the Homecoming Project and Joe and Tamika were able to fulfill that for me and really make that a lot easier.
This has just added such a richness to my life and is just something I really cherish.
So Rhonda's going to tell you about the Homecoming Project a little more.
Okay. Thank you, Teresa. I want to also introduce our interim manager, Donna Linton, who's here as well. Donna, just wave. Yeah, so we came out, and the reason we're here talking to you today is because within Impact Justice is, as you know, the Homecoming Project. What that means is that we're asking you to consider what you can do. You guys have an amazing ministry here. There's a lot of things that you're already doing in community. This is one more thing that you can consider. What's amazing about this program is that you can become not a homeowner, but you could be part of the shared economy in the sense of returning citizens, right? Folks that have served 10 plus years in prison, male, female, transgender, that are coming out and saying, hey, I need a safe place to land. I need to be in community. It's amazing what happens when we get together, right? So we've got someone that says, we forgive you. Whatever your crime was, you served your time, we forgive you, and you can come live here and feel safe, right? We found that if someone lives in community and they're able to be healthy and safe for 3 years, they're not returning to prison. In fact, we have 0 recidivism. 80 plus people, you can clap for that. 80 plus people have graduated from our program and have not returned to prison. So we know that it's working. The ask is difficult, right? Because folks are like, who is this person? Rhonda, you want me to do what? But I'm very convincing. After 90 minutes of conversation, folks say, you know what? I do want to give this a shot, right? I want to see who I can help. You have 100%, you can meet with them 50 million times. Conversations, coffee, face-to-face visits, Zoom visits, phone calls. Teresa's very good at vetting our participants, right? So no one's coming in the home that's unprepared. That's a great word, unprepared. We've noticed that the folks that we're working with, their mentality is, I want to re-enter into society. I want to get restored with my family. I want to know my neighbors. I'd like to learn how to garden. I'd like to learn how to cook, right? If you go into prison at 18 and you serve 25 years, you probably don't know a lot of different things. And so we're just kind of matching people and partnering her up. I'm gonna go to my slide real quick. It says pre-screening matching. We carefully screen potential participants and host and follow a rigorous matching process that addresses living preferences and allows people to meet in person or virtually before the match is sealed, right? So you get to decide who you want to live with you for 6 months. Here's the best part. We will compensate you through a stipend of $45 a day. It's one of the best parts. That's really not the best part. The best part is after 6 months of living with your participant, I can't get the host to let them go. They're like, no, don't take them. They're amazing. I'm like, but it took me 90 minutes to convince you to take them in the first place. So that happens. It's really magical. I can't control that part. People absolutely fall in love with each other. It's a beautiful thing, Reverend Geri. So I just encourage you to consider us. I'm gonna read the last 2 slides really quick. Well, I mentioned the stipend already. What's the last one say? Oh, case management. So we don't leave you on the island by yourself. This participant is assigned a case manager, a case worker we call community navigators, and we kind of allow that navigator to literally navigate them throughout whatever they need. They may need their driver's license. They may need to sign back up for school. They may, need a job. And so we make sure that they have someone that's working with them on a regular basis for the 6 months that they're with us. And that community navigator helps them find permanent housing. So you can say, yes, I love them. They can stay here and go into contract with them yourself, or you can say, you know what, I'll take another participant. Now, I know there's 3 people in the room. The first person said, Rhonda, you had me at hello. You guys seen Jerry Maguire? No one saw Jerry Maguire? That's like my favorite movie. Okay, I'm done. And then the second person says, well, I'm not able because I don't have a spare room. This is great, but I can't do it. You're able to refer to us. And we also give a $200 bonus thank you for doing that. The person has to become a host. Let me be clear. And then the third person says, hey, I can't think of anyone. I can't do it, but I'm happy to donate to you, right? And you may fall under all of these categories, but the point is there's something that you can do, right? You are giving membership. I see you guys give all the time, and so this is just one more option for you. I just want to end by saying Teresa's amazing. She's working with every participant. I'm usually the person working with the host, and we're here for you. If you have questions, come talk to us after. We're going to hang out in the back, ask more questions, or just sign up for me to come visit you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I love our nonprofit program. So now I get to say thank you. I'm big on gratitude. And we want to thank everyone who participated. Our speaker, Reverend Geri, and our host, Reverend Sunshine Michelle, and our musicians, Kev Choice and Omega Ray. And I want to thank the meditator, Susan Brecker, this morning for setting the tone for us. And our lead practitioners, Susan Urquhart Brown, and Maureen French, our fabulous announcer. Let me see, and I have all this AV team, Krista Kotz, Alice Herndon, and Alice Knudsen, and Helene Cirillo, and Peggy Cotton. And our counters, PM, are Chula Dahl, and Larry Wyman, and Crystal Fry, and Lula Green, who check us in. And anyone else who I may have forgotten, and all of you for coming to enjoy and celebrate God today and ourselves, expressing uniquely as God. So our affirmation for you can meet in the back for prayer. If you would like to pray, we have practitioners available to pray with you for 4 or 5 minutes. And if you want a longer session, you can check out in the social hall our pictures and contact information. So that will be after the service. So be sure to exit after the service or come back to pray or find out more about our nonprofit partner today. And now we can have our affirmation. I love and accept myself exactly as I am, and so it is.
If you can all stand for our closing song. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God. Say amen. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen, amen, amen. Happy Sunday. Have a beautiful day.